Why hello there! Welcome! I'm Cam and today we're going to be drawing the Avengers. As you guessed it, anime characters. Since the endgame is coming up in April, I thought I'd contribute to the hype, being a Marvel fan myself. I decided to search the web for screenshots and redraw them in the famous anime style. I'm using the term anime style in general since anime itself has many different styles, depending on the series. First off is my favorite Avenger, Iron Man. Totally not biased at all. I was torn between choosing a dramatic scene or something more laid back. I decided to go with the former, feeling that it might have more of an oomph. Yeah, my sketches are very messy, as I try to get a good feel of the proportions. I've never been good at drawing mecha, robots, that kind of stuff, but I made an attempt for good old Tony here. As you can see, it didn't come easy to me. Lots of experimenting, fiddling, moving stuff around before I was happy with the outcome. Not sure about you, but I consider Tony a pretty boy. Come on, have you seen those eyelashes? Pretty boy. They have a term for that actually, bishy. I referenced a couple of bishy-esque photos on Google to get certain elements right. And here you see me being fickle with colors, trying to find that perfect color to fit the tone of the image. I do the same here again with his skin, trying to find a balance. Once I've done that, it's just basically blocking in the rest of the colors. The Iron Man suit was a little bit challenging, as predicted. Adding in the details I missed, determining the light and shadows. Tony's ear was a little bit off to me here, so I go back and try to surgically correct it. When it comes to shading, I go crazy. My first priority is to determine where the shadows would be, and I play around and work off that, no matter how messy it may seem at first. Once I'm somewhat satisfied, I go back and rework them, making sure they're neat and tidy. Look at that flawless skin! Looking back to a reference image, we can't have that. Looks like it's time to beat him up. Oh, what fun! Totally not sadistic at all. Adding a yellow overlay for the backlight, and done! And I also made a simple background to complement the image. And next we have Captain America. Out of all the Avengers I drew for this video, I thought Steve was the most challenging. It actually took me a couple of tries to get this right. Nope, the face still isn't right. Gotta erase and retry, cause he ain't handsome enough. Gotta get that bishy feel, you know? Full eyelashes, pointy nose, now all that's missing are sparkles. I rework, move stuff around before I'm finally confident enough to get to the line art stage. I chose this shot in particular because I like the tone of the serious yet somber tone it portrayed. I thought it fit Steve perfectly. Trying to get his costume to match up here before jumping right into the colors, blocking everything in. Although I did have fun playing around with the design of his shield, I felt as if it would be better freehanding the colors instead of encasing them with line art. The gray shade I used for Tony didn't seem to fit, so I changed it to a purplish tinge to fit the mood. The lighting for this piece is behind Steve, which is why the shadows build towards the middle and there's a need for a second shade layer. I wasn't too sure about the shading on his cheek. I was going for a strong cheekbone feel, but it didn't quite work in my favor, so I decided to remove them. Lastly, some highlights and boom, finished. I added a background off screen for that somber feel. Lastly, we have Thor. Those two circles indicate where Thor's eyes were supposed to be before I added detail, but without context, he just looks derped out. Gotta get that eye detail down. It's also worth noting that his irises can't be seen due to his glowing eyes, an effect I'll add later on in the finishing stages. The hatching method I used for Tony's beard didn't quite work in this case, so I googled some good old bearded anime dudes for reference and decided to go with the fluffier alternative. His ears didn't seem right to me, so I reworked them to create harmony between the two. Next up is the hair detail. Not quite as much as when he had his long luxurious mane, but I did my best to do it justice. I decided to go with his short hair instead of the long, just a personal preference of mine. The best part about making your own videos is you can do whatever the heck you want. I had fun playing around with his outfit, adding in details and such before we dove into the colors. I block in the colors, trying to get depth and different shades from the many browns across Thor's outfit, complemented by bits of red, gold, and green. I also color in bits of the line art to make the colors pop, especially the eyes for that glowing feel. Once that's done, we get to the shading portion, keeping in mind his eyes are glowing and there's sparks emitting from him. Lastly, we add some detail, not forgetting the lightning. And we're done. Background-wise, I added Asgard, well, blurred Asgard. Thank you to all my Patreons. Your support means a lot to me. Patreons get perks and behind-the-scenes stuff, and also your name right here. If you're interested, I'll leave a link in the end card and the description. If you're a regular on my channel, I am sure you've noticed the lack of animation videos recently. The reason being is that I'm burnt out, animation-wise. I don't want to end up hating animation in the long run, so I decided to take a break. I do have some future animations planned and even have some animatics already drawn out, but it might take a while for this block to go away. But do not fret, that doesn't mean I'll stop posting videos. I'm experimenting with art videos to fill the void. I hope you guys will stick around during this transition period, but if you can't, I'll understand. So, would you like to see me draw the rest of the Avengers in this style? Like if you do, and if you have any suggestions, the comments is the best place to let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.